I was reading a passage of scripture tonight about the 10 lepers. Scripture says as Jesus come into town, there were 10 lepers. They stood off at a distance. They hollered at Jesus. Jesus told them to go show themselves to the high priest. That's where they went to be inspected when they had been healed of what had ailed them and had caused them to be labeled as lepers. Scripture says that as they were walking, heading in that direction, that they were healed along the way. They didn't know when it happened. They couldn't tell you the exact moment or how many steps they had taken, but somewhere in the process of going to see the high priest, their leprosy was healed in their body. Now, as I was reading this tonight, the Lord said, it's the last part that I want you to pay attention to. Because the moment one of the 10 lepers was healed, he turned around. He didn't go to the high priest. He went right back to Jesus to give praise, because he knew he had received a miracle from God. But when he got to Jesus, the Samaritan man who wasn't even a Jew, and he got to Jesus, he said, did I not heal 10? Where are the other 9? And when they could not be made account for, Jesus turned around to the one that returned and gave praise, and he said, because of thy faith be thou made whole. And his body that had been healed of leprosy, everything that he had lost to the leprosy was restored. In other words, there was no signs that leprosy had ever touched his body. Every limb, every cut, every wound that had inflicted on his body was immediately healed and restored back to this man, because he came back and gave praise. Here's my thought. Maybe the reason why you have not been at the next level of where you want to be at in God is because God's been waiting on you to come back after the first touch. He's still waiting on you to give him praise for the first touch, because when you come back and give praise after the first touch, it's then that God's able to restore and give back what you've been praying for long-termly and bless your life. The next dimension of blessing is in returning to give praise. If God's ever touched you once, you ought to lift up your hands and magnify the King and give him praise. I hope this helps you tonight. Like and follow.